there is really no way you can walk out of this event without creating a really tipping point opportunity for your life from a financial perspective if this is the business you want to be in. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. So get that in your head right away.
Hey everyone, it's Ed O'Keefe and welcome to another Ed O'Keefe Show episode. Today I'm bringing to you the first 20 minutes of my Business Explosion Health Intensive. That's right, the $7,000 weekend where business owners flew from all over the world to learn how I grew my business from zero to many millions in a very, very rapid phase. So the first 21 minutes is really interesting because unlike a lot of seminars you go to where they'll talk about logistics and a bunch of things I feel are pretty much unnecessary, like where the bathroom is and what's going to happen over the next couple days, I dove right in and explained some real insights as to why I got into that business, why it was perfect timing for what I was doing at the time, but really ultimately what I was trying to accomplish by going behind the scenes of so many businesses to discover the difference between truth and fiction. Now, live events I feel are where I'm most entertaining, most enjoyable to be around, because quite frankly, you just can't get the energy through just doing virtual training. The face-to-face is just so much more effective. So in this training, you're going to hear some of the stories that I don't tell, over webinars or other trainings, just purely because they're funnier live. So you'll hear stories about how my kids, my comments about Nanny 911. You'll get to see the economics behind why I wanted to go into a different type of business. You'll also hear a little bit about my learning strategies and why having certain mental models is very, very important when endeavoring onto a new journey, whether it's a new business, a new career, whatever it might be for you. There's certain things you will hit if you are trying to improve or get better at something. So I hope you enjoy this. Let me know. You can tweet me, Facebook me, whatever it might be. But you don't have to be going to the health business. You don't have to be in any business right now to enjoy this 21 minutes of power. So let me know what you think and make it an awesome day.
Someone asked me, why would I line up so many good speakers and resources when, why wouldn't you just position the thing to be around you? And I said, that's silly. So I want to share my mindset a little bit. So I coached volleyball. I played volleyball in college, coached volleyball what I would call competitively, meaning we've had multiple teams end up in I think out of the 14 years, I've coached for 19 years, even though my wife and I agreed that I shouldn't coach for the last 5 years. I came out of retirement for 1 year. We finished 13th in the country. But we finished in the top 10 probably out of my 14 years, about 9 to 10 times we were in the top 10 in the country. So a little bit competitive. A lot of kids ended up playing Division I. Some kids played pros. Some kids were on the national team. So I've been around high-level athletes. And I have a lot of friends who are MMA guys. I love the martial arts. When we were all in high school, let's just say we're all the same age, which I'm 39, so for some of you, you just got younger. For some of you, you're like, wow, he's old. But you'd have one coach that would teach everything, right? You'd go there, you'd be your strength and conditioning coach and your head coach and your whatever. If you go back and look at the movie Hoosiers, it was the one guy. And the fact of the matter is that everything that we are about and we're looking to do is shorten time and accelerate your results, right? And the fact of the matter is if you look at the world's best athletes now, world-class athletes, they are learning from multiple people and have multiple specialists teaching them what they're uniquely great at, right? You go into an MMA gym, you got a Muay Thai coach, you have a Jiu-Jitsu coach, you have a wrestling coach, you have a boxing coach, you have your flexibility coach, you have your mental coach. So my belief system is that if we're trying to create world-class champions at your thing, specifically in the health product and supplement business, you need to have world-class people who are just the best of the best at what they do, okay? So, so that's my intention and that's my vision with this. So let's dive right in there. So as you can see up on the screen is my crew. I will probably refer to my family way more times than you'll like. Like you're going to be sick of me by the end of the week. But you know they're everything that the way we design the business, the way we run the business, the time we have. Everything is about them in my estimation, and everything else comes second after that. A funny story, last night my wife says to me, it's like 10:30, I'm reviewing some of the applications just to get my head right, and my wife says to me, she goes, and my daughter Reese, which I know we shouldn't let our kids still be up at 10:30, but whatever. She's in the middle with the curlies and the smile right there and the butterfly in her shirt. She's what, 8 or 9 or something like that, and she's doing her homework. Once you get past like 4 or 5, you just stop worrying about their ages. Yeah, you get the whole like. It's 9:30 and she pulls out her "I'm the star student of the week" thing, which you have to let her finish because she literally is. This is her week. She's got to get it up there. She hasn't done it. I'm like, are you seriously kidding me? Like, what have you been doing? I'm sure Nanny 911 would say, well, if you had rules and structures, you wouldn't have those problems. I'm like, yeah, well, why don't you have kids of your own one of these days, Nanny 911, and stop going to other people's houses and wrecking their lives. Anyhow, my wife says to me, she goes, do you have your bag packed? I'm like, I have some stuff out. And my kids get a little paranoid. They're like, well, where's Dad going? And Reese goes, well, Dad, are you leaving? And no, we're going. Dad's running a seminar, and he's going to be at a hotel locally. And she goes, a seminar? What's that? Well, people are coming to see Dad speak. And there was like this pause. And then she goes, why would they do that? All right, Reese, way to give me material for tomorrow morning. So that's my crew. This is what the family I grew up in. So that's my mom and dad. They're still alive. They're 83 years old. I have 12 brothers and sisters, 8 brothers and 4 sisters. This is Eddie and Ireland. Eddie and Ireland are awesome. They're like our 13-month-old awesomeness of everything. They're just great. So I hope you get to meet them. There's my crew again. And one thing I want to tell you, so the thing is that, so I've always asked this question. I love this question. So what do you see when you look at the screen there? And for time's sake, this is the interaction part, but we're gonna be very interactive. But what do you see there, right? And Maseo, what do you see there? Flight, girl in the air, right? But what you don't see is like that's of what was underneath that flight. And one of the reasons I decided to actually come out of hiding and teaching, I'll tell you two reasons, 2 strong drivers, is I really enjoyed teaching and coaching dentists, like on marketing. I really enjoyed it. I think 9 years was too long, like in one market. I think I got a little burnt out of saying the same. There's only 7 ways to really grow dental practice, and you're just changing how to say it every time. And I kind of got burnt out of that. And I wanted to see if I could grow a business that didn't revolve around me. It was revolved around a product, right? And so that was one main motivator. The second main motivator was just kind of out of frustration. And so what I mean by frustration is that I am way more concerned about what you don't see than what you do see. And what I mean by that is, like, this is JT Torres, world champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. This is me coaching some of the teams that I coached. I'll go back a second. But this is what you see with our athletes nowadays. You see them at the victory on the stand. But what most people don't really realize, like, Steve Young, you're training for what competition?
Physique competition.
Is that where you get to wear like a spandex and stuff?
No, sir. Board shorts.
Oh, you do? You get to wear actually real shorts. Cool.
Real shorts, yeah.
Okay, not the Michael Phelps look. But were you up this morning training? Is that what I understood? Yeah. So what time did you get up? Can I ask?
5.
5. Were you excited to be up at 5 a.m.? Are you like in that passion, like I'm so excited to be up at 5?
No,
You had
not until 5:30 did I feel that way.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you've ever been around like really high-level athletes and people training for a specific like thing, they're going through a grind. It's a grind process. Like there's no way to shortcut going through that process of going from where you are to where you want to be in a unique fashion. And so what I get a little frustrated with sometimes is just how people make things seem super, super easy, but they leave out the grind part, right? And so the other side of that is I want to come out in the sense that this is how we did it. This is everything that I did wrong, and there's a ton of it. But this is what worked. And then here's other things that work for other people, and here's world-class guys and gals, and go do it, right? And here's the big difference, right? This is a distinction that, and you need to understand, this is a distinction. So when my son Michael was, he's 9 now. When he was 6, maybe 5, whatever, he was like 5 or 6. We have the way our houses are laid out in Chicago, like our neighbor's backyard's only a few feet there. We have some space, but he ran to my neighbor's house. My daughter was in the bathroom. He comes running out, and he's about to go to the bathroom in his pants. And my neighbor, Sheila, just says, Michael, just pee by the flowers. So what does he do? Pees in the flowers. Life's great. Nola texts me. Mike just peed in the backyard. We had a chuckle about it. Well, the next day, I get another text message saying that Michael just took a dump in the neighbor's yard. And so why is that really important? Because he did everything right. He just did it in the wrong place, right? But see, he didn't know that. He just did that. And so one of the things that when I decided to go into the supplement business, what kind of grabbed my attention was I was watching all these people launching products saying they're doing $30,000 a day, $40,000 a day, $50,000 a day. And here I was in my dental marketing business just doing like $3,000 a day, something like that, maybe more than that. I mean, there's our best years, we got up to 7 million, but we were doing like 3 to 4 million a year consistently. Now, we could go more in depth on how much was net, whatever, but that's not the point. But I was really attracted to this $50,000 a day concept. And I literally was like, screw this stuff, I'm going over here. And it was funny, like some of the guys I wrote in the report who introduced me to some of these guys, they didn't put the caveat, like the shit they're teaching doesn't work anymore. And I was like, but I didn't know that. So I'm very, we'll talk about like the mindset here, but like that stuff, in my opinion, drives me up the wall. So this week, you're not going to get stuff that doesn't work anymore. And if it doesn't work or did work, well, I'm going to let you know. I mean, like Dave, can you raise your hand? Dave is from Macromark. We just ran out of our inventory of Marine D3 because we're running remnant newspaper ads with Dave, but I met Dave through when we started off Marine D3 doing direct mail. I mean, the fact of the matter is, guys, direct mail doesn't work anymore, right, Dave? No, it still works and it's killing it for people. Where's Magic? Or am I saying your name right? Yeah. So are you the online coordinator, operations guy for a company that's doing a ton of tons of direct mail and investing a ton of money in that channel, right? And we'll talk to Dave more later on today, but Roland, you don't do any direct mail at all. It does 1 million pieces a month. So the point is that what doesn't work is really a relative thing, but we really do want to know is what's those distinctions about what is working and what's not working. So you're not crapping in the neighbor's yard when you're doing everything right, but you're in the wrong location. Does that make sense? And those are key distinctions. Couple little quick things. It's the driver, not the vehicle. So question I always have is like, mental constructs of how you approach this whole thing. There is really no way you can walk out of this event without creating a really tipping point opportunity for your life from a financial perspective if this is the business you want to be in. There really, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. So get that in your head right away. Because there's this concept, I read this in a book a long time ago, it's a book called Mastery by Tim Perrin. And he talked about how could you have three different people. One guy's teaching how to flip homes, the other guy's teaching how to do rentals, and then another guy's talking about commercial real estate. It's all in real estate. And they're all saying this is the best way to make money. And they're all teaching something completely different, or just say it's different for the heck of it. Yet they are making wealth out of it, and 99% of their students aren't. Right? And so it goes to that thing that it's about the driver of the vehicle, not always the vehicle. Does that make sense? So this is about you. This is about us making it happen. There's nothing, I don't think easy was used more than 3 or 4 times in a 62-page report. I don't remember ever using the word easy. There are things that are easy, but you have to be willing to go through the grind to kind of learn this out. And what my job and our speakers' jobs and our sponsors' jobs is to shortcut all of that. Is that cool? Fair assessment there? Yeah, fair assessment? Okay. 5,000 reps, we all read Outliers, 5,000, 10,000 reps. When you go through that, you're going through the phase of overwhelm, confusion, and frustration. There's going to be a point, hopefully at some point, where you are a little confused and a little overwhelmed. It's kind of by design, because if you're not expanding your brain to a point where new neural connections are happening, then you're going to be like, oh, I already got this, already got this, already got all this. Well, the confusion pattern has to pop in. If you actually look at every aha moment you've ever had and every learning experience, there's a confusion state that happens naturally, so we have to be willing to go through that. I think, Roland, when I interviewed you remember when we were talking about that, and I said, hey, how do you get through that phase of confusion? And you actually went into it on camera, and you're like, yeah, that does happen, right? Tim Ferriss talks about with his accelerated learning, when he tries to compress like language into like 12-day stints, how he doesn't talk about this a lot, but I caught on to it where I was like, most people will not notice it, is he talks about how there's like this phase of awfulness, maybe not his exact words, where he's just in this place where his brain has left, his conscious mind is destroyed, and the only thing that has to happen is he's feeding his unconscious to get the language process going, okay? My philosophy on media buying, when I decided, okay, I'm going to learn media buying, my philosophy on it was, how do we get through the whole process as fast as possible so that my body learns it, so that my mind learns it? Like, it does it once, right? At least once, so that you can like start connecting those patterns as many times as humanly possible. And so from a learning perspective, how many of you guys know what myelin sheath is? Like myelin sheath on who can explain it in like 10 seconds?
I'm going with the doctor.
He's a chiropractor. You think he knows that shit too? Goes around your nerves, right? And the more a message goes down that pathway, it what? Strengthens, right? Yep, it strengthens. So if you knew that, I learned that in nursing school, like whatever, so many years ago, and I didn't really ever use it for anything but this concept, which is, if you know that every time the pathway gets run, the sheath gets stronger, and then the signal gets faster and faster, then your job is not to overthink it, but to run it as many times as you can, as fast as humanly possible. Does that make sense? Okay, so big chunk there, but it's going to be important for you to understand how we kind of go through things, okay? So 3 principles that you can apply to anything. Sequential linear thinking is not for us. We are not in the looking to do things. You got to have processes and systems. I get that, but from a perspective of your job is to work your way through the ranks and to do things at a slow pace that is keeping you up with everybody else. That is not this room. We do not want to think that way. We want to think as leapfroggers, and so. What that means is, goes back to, how many know Robert Ringer, book Winning Through Intimidation? There's only like 5 hands. You guys got to check it out, right? So he wrote in that book that the turning point of his life was that he realized that our job, if you look at this, is society has this concept of here's the top, right? You always hear about the top 3%, top 1%, and society's made that to be a bad thing. But the way we've been taught ever since we were kids was you go to preschool, then you go where? Kindergarten, then you go where? First grade, second grade, and you go through this ranking system. Well, that's like the step ladder to success. And so then most people foolishly follow that system. And we just kind of go through this system. But guess what, guys? This is where all the competitors are. This is where the rest of the population is hanging out. You do not want to be in that group. It's longer, it's slower, it's silly. Now, what's the opposite of it is we just go right to the top, figure it out when we get there, become a badass there, not when you're trying to hang out with all the pigeons trying to talk about someday they're going to do stuff. We don't do that. It doesn't make sense. It's a waste of your time. So Robert Ringer said his leapfrog theory was we had at any given moment, anytime we can just claim and launch to the top of something. Now he does say one thing, that you have to be able to back it up when you get there, but that's why you're in a room of world champions, not a bunch of pigeons, right?
This episode is sponsored by Marine D3. If you want 24-hour antioxidant protection while giving your brain, eyes, heart, and overall energy a jolt of long-lasting nourishment, then Marine D3 is for you. This is my #1 top-selling health product that I've sold over 500,000 bottles, and right now, 80% of our sales come from repeat customers. Marine D3 can flood your cells with an abundance of new antioxidants and nutrients that fights and repairs damage done to the cells during exercise, everyday living, and the natural breakdown that occurs as we age. After 15 years of research and over $39 million spent on clinical studies, a renowned biochemist has found one of the world's greatest antioxidants. It's called CNLP, hiding deep below the ocean surface. I took CNLP, combined it with a little-known omega-3 called calamine, as well as vitamin D3, so that you can get maximum benefit all in one supplement. I'd like to give you the first bottle absolutely free. I just ask that you pay shipping and handling. At edokeefeshow.com/free bottle, I'll have a mini presentation that will share more about the supplement and why people are raving about it. Most importantly, it'll show you exactly how you can get it shipped out to you today, just for shipping and handling. This episode is brought to you by Dormant Forces Insider. If you would like monthly big business breakthroughs, insider marketing strategies that actually work, and mindset secrets of multimillionaires sent directly to your door so you can have them in your hands and you can apply them, then this is for you. Now, you can test drive my Dormant Forces Insider Silver membership for just 1 month free. If you love it, we know you'll stay with it and let it keep you in the loop of what's working inside my businesses and the other dozens and dozens of businesses that I mentor. Why would you go at it all on your own when you can use other people's experience than just replicate what works? Anyhow, right now you can test drive the membership for just $1 plus a few bucks shipping and handling by going to edokeefeshow.com/dormant forces. That's edokeefeshow.com/dormant forces.
Someone asked me, why did I